What's up, guys? It's Cheeto. Well, I know I teased it yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to record anything last night, so I'm doing it right now, a little bit before I start my shift at work. Uh, as you guys can tell, it's the Donnie Bless custom proto that I've been working on with him. I'm pretty excited, and I'm just gonna tell you guys, I already opened it up and I looked at it because I couldn't fucking wait anymore. I was trying to wait until this morning, but I opened it up last night. I just couldn't record it, so sorry, you guys won't get that surprise reaction, or I don't know what you guys were expecting, but let's get into it. I don't want to make you guys wait too long. And he did have it like bubble wrapped and everything, but I took it all off, and I added my IWB straps that I use. And he threw in an extra sheath. Oh, let's bust this out first. Here you go. Some of the info. There you go. There's his Insta, his email, if you guys want to reach out to him. He threw in some business cards. Let's see. There's some stickers in here. They're stuck at the bottom. Yep. Come on. There you go. The extra sheath. Alright. Let's get to it. I was already like looking it over. It's got a bit of like some gunk in there, but I'll clean it up. My first impressions, I'm pretty happy with it. Very happy. Donnie killed it. The fit and finish is sick. Like originally, I think I was gonna just go like bead blast all the way, but we were talking about it, and he suggested like some variation in the blade just to give it a little bit of pop, so it's not all just one finish. And he did the bead blasting all the way around to the handle. I was thinking about taking off the handles in this video, but I'll probably save that for another one. And I was gonna do a little more in-depth overview. I won't say review. I am gonna be carrying it as much as I can, just to get a feel for it. Is like I said, it's a prototype, and there might be some changes I want to do. Like originally, this was supposed to be the finer jimping, like up here, but Donnie wasn't able to do it just because of the angle of the choil. This one's less steep, so he was able to get his file in there and do the small jimps. But up here, he suggested that he could do the big jimps or leave it alone. And I said, let's do the big jimps. Let's try it out. I really like how it looks, like all the way around. It's a little hard to handle this thing behind the camera, especially since it's sharpened all the way around, so I can't touch up here. I'm just trying to be mindful to keep my hands here. When I flip it over, make sure I'm holding it here. But yeah, it's very fine, but it's friggin' sharp. Let me see if I can get a piece of paper. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Got a piece of paper. And just, so everybody knows, it's not, I didn't design this thing to be a super slicey knife or anything like that. It's more of a get off me tool. More designed for piercing. Oh. There you go. There you go. Not the best at cutting paper behind camera. There you go. Let's turn it around. Try the top edge. And then that small edge up near the tip. Alright, like that one is not as good as the rest of them, but I'm pretty sure it's the blade geometry. It has a lot to do with it. and the way I'm cutting it. That's pretty damn good at piercing. I should brought a box or something. It is a little bit thicker right here. There's, you know what I mean? Like, it gets pretty steep pretty quick. Like, it gets higher quicker than it does over here. It has more space for the material to travel. And down here. It's understandable. It's not going to be very slicey up here, but the top edge and the bottom edge are pretty good. Yeah, I'm loving it so far. Grip feels good. Forgive my hands. They're a bit rough most of the time. Feels good, and like a pulling motion. If you need to cut straps or something, you could probably do it this way, and it feels very comfortable. Flipping it around. This reverse grip feels pretty good. My palm doesn't fall right into the forward choil that's up here for the thumb ramp. My palm doesn't quite fall in there, but it doesn't need to, because my palm is resting pretty much right here, so I don't have to worry about that. If I flip it this way, then my palm falls into the choil somewhat. Not quite perfect, but almost there. Ooh, it's hard to get that angle. There we go. Feels pretty damn good. And like I said, there might be changes coming down the line. The one thing that I noticed when I was handling it that probably I could change, and when I first was designing it, I didn't notice it because I was telling Donnie this, that I modeled it out of foam, and foam, you know, it's not a stiff material, so it will compress if you squeeze it. So I didn't feel any hot spots. Donnie tried it out and he said he dug it, but our hands aren't exactly the same. We're pretty close to the same hand size. And he actually suggested to lengthen the handle a bit from my original design. Because for him, like, his pinky and ring finger were both trying to fall in here. But actually it looks like about the same length. There we go. It's pretty much the same length. I think there was an issue with the CAD. When we did the CAD, it might have been shortened up in the CAD compared to my model. And I think this portion right here on the back is a little more narrow than my original one. But that isn't really a problem. That's not a hot spot or anything like that. The only spot for me that's kind of a hot spot is this flat section on the bottom right here on these angles. So I might round them out, you know, have them rounded instead of these more acute angles, or even bring it back a little bit. When I grip it, my hand's not huge, so I don't need, I guess, that much handle. And yeah, it's the same from when I drew it up. It felt fine here. If I'm looking at it, my foam model is not as thick as the actual handles on this one. And he did put a black G10 liner right here. Hold on a second, I'm losing my light. Okay, so yeah, he put a black G10 liner, and then my card scales. They're originally, I think they were close to 1/4 inch thick on each side, and then he shaped some texturing in here. Fudge, I forgot what that style is called. I forgot, but you know, we were talking about adding texture, and I didn't make any suggestions. I was like, showed him some pictures of some stuff that I'd seen, and I was like, hey, go for it, you know, do whatever pattern you feel would look cool on this. And he knocked it out of the park. I think it looks great. It feels really good in the hand. The scales feel very good. I don't have any major issues or gripes with the handle, except for like these little corners. So I might just round those off. Might bring it back in the future. When I'm talking about bringing it back a little bit is not so much because of comfort, but the other thing I noticed was it's heavier on the handle side. It's not balanced too great. We did kind of mill out some holes into the handle. Maybe they need to be bigger, or add another hole. But if we bring this back a little bit, it might reduce the weight in the handle, just so it's not so back heavy. Like the overall weight of the knife is not listed, and I didn't bring a scale. I'll probably do that in a future video so we get the weight down. But it's pretty hefty. What do I have on me? I have the Clydesdale on me. I forget the weight on this, but it's heavier for sure. Oh, there you go, off camera. There you go. So it's a little bit longer than the Clydesdale. Let me put these down. Just slightly. You know, camera angles. I'll bring it forward. I'm not like right above it. This is an overhead. It's not an overhead video. It's kind of hard to get the angles. All right. Shout out to Luke. This is he's the guy that did the CAD work for me on this knife, and he killed it too. Like there might have been some measurements that were off, you know, due to my part, or maybe something in the CAD that went a little bit off, but otherwise it came out really good. And the other change I might do is make the lanyard hole bigger. I think this was 6mm, but I might bump it up to like 8. It looks tight. Like if you want to throw in a piece of paracord in there, it might be a little tight. You know, and it might cause some chafing, might end up tearing your paracord over time. So I might change that for the lanyard people. And I do lanyards here and there, but I'm not, you know, super adamant about putting it on everything. But other than that, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, right here, this little corner on the back. That wasn't really intentional. I mean, it's there. I have a sharp kind of angle on the back, but originally the scales were not going to be shadow boxed like this because I didn't really plan for jimping on the back. It's just an idea that came up later on when I talked to Donnie. I'm like, oh dude, what if we do jimping all the way around and then like kind of shadow box the scales? And he went for it. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And it kind of created this little point. It's not a hot spot for me when I hold it in my hand. Natural grip, it's not bugging me. Maybe somebody with a larger hand, it might. But in pretty much all of the grips, it's not bothering me. I can rest my thumb there. Like if you put your thumb here, yeah, and you put some pressure, it's not going to be comfortable. But you can kind of loop over and you'll be fine. This way it doesn't bug me either. But what I was noticing, since it does kind of have that point, you could use it as like a glass breaker, possibly. But this is AEBL steel. I'm not exactly sure how well it will hold up to impact or like repeated impact if you have to hit it a few times. That might be something I could do later and test it out. Go to junkyard, break a window or something. I'll record it if I do it. But here you go, guys. First impressions, I love it. Donnie killed it. There goes my light again. But I love the scales. I love the execution. He did change his angle too on that front edge. Let's see if I have it on here on the sketch. It was slightly different. I had it more like a triangle shape going that way, but now it's a little elongated triangle instead of this little shortened one, which is, I think it looks better than mine. But you guys let me know what you think. Drop some comments, hit me up. I'll answer DMs, whatever you guys want to talk about. Reach out. I'll catch you guys next time. We'll do a longer video, maybe some size comparisons with other fixed blades. But that's it. Catch you guys next time.